Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Upton, where today we are in the French sprayer that I can't ever figure out how to pronounce, the Matro, the sprayer. I'm gonna do some spraying today. The Ariane is over in field 40, seeding some canola for us. We're heading to field 9, which the Ariane has kindly mostly seeded. I'm not gonna... I might put on creative money and seed the rest of it with like a big butt or something, but I don't know. I really don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of field 9. There's really small bits that haven't been seeded, so I don't know if it's even worth bothering with. But it does need to be fertilized, as do a lot of the grass fields. Well, all the fields need to be fertilized. So off we go. And I'm gonna fertilize all the fields at once, in kind of one fell swoop. So the stream this week on Upton will be fertilizing quite a lot. Are you confused again, class? I get the feeling you're not confused. That's good. The class has a habit of getting confused. I will have to move the harvester and header most likely. Just because I have a distinct feeling the class is going to decide to whap into them at some point and not be very happy. And I've just realized my mic has been pointing the wrong way today. Good. Well, I know most of you don't have a Blue Yeti. There's actually a way to know how the mic is pointing. This sounds silly, but there is. And it's the logo at the front. It's literally it. The logo goes to the front. My microphone is obviously upside down, so you're hearing me upside down. I hope you don't mind it. You don't seem to. You've not noticed that the sound is upside down for months. I don't know. But, yeah, there's a blue microphone's logo on the Blue Yeti. And if that goes to the front. And the way that I'm recording is, like, most of the sound is picked up at the front. So if I go around to the side like this, it suddenly gets a bit quieter. Not much, actually, because I got close to the mic, but it gets a bit quieter. If I move back, it gets quieter too. If I lean way back, I sound like I'm down a corridor somewhere. And if I'm right up by the mic, it sounds fine. And somebody's coming into the house, so there might be noises in the background. Wonderful. I apologize for any background noise. Just gonna get in there before it all starts kicking off and there's noise everywhere and I get annoyed and this is typical. So I need to lower the sprayer, which it's not gonna work right now, but it will lower in a second. You gonna want to lower now? Yes. How do I aha, that's the tilty. So let's, without further ado, get spraying with some tilty action. There we go. I do quite like this sprayer because you can change exactly how it's spraying. And as it turns out, sprayers are really good for giving you a better idea of how the field actually sits. Which is something that I didn't kind of anticipate. I do have ground response turned on, so it's a bit wibbly and a bit wobbly, but it's fine. I do like sprayers, by the way, that have the booms at the front, because it makes more sense to me, because you can look to the left and right and see how you're doing. I know why booms are usually at the back, and it's mainly just a convenience thing. But them being at the front makes a lot more sense, because you can see exactly what you're spraying that way. Just kind of a thing what I noticed. I think this is the better design in terms of usability. This does have a 3,250 litre tank, I believe it was. You guys will know how much the tank was because you paid attention at the start, obviously. I didn't. I rarely pay attention to the game while I'm recording. I'll just kind of watch what's going on and be like, hey, there's a thing happening. How did I not notice it? Then you guys shout at me in the comments. That's how YouTube works, right? So I know, in reality you wouldn't actually spray the field when it's not grown at all. You'd actually wait until there were shoots. But, this is farm sim, and this is the way you can do it. Another bonus of the boom being at the front is you can get nice tight corners like that, especially when you've got four-wheel steering like this thing has. Should mention that I've got a can of Coke because I am quite lackadaisical and tired and lethargic today, so I'm keeping myself going with caffeine. Which, of course, is the answer to 99.9% of life's problems. Mainly tiredness. Have I've not accidentally given myself an exact boom's width. No. Oh, no. I mean, it was close. It was close to being a boom's width, but it obviously wasn't. It doesn't matter too much if I overlap a bit, because it's farm sim again. Yeah, I'm not gonna put in the spray controller thingy mod because that would involve me editing this thing, and this thing's complicated enough without me tweaking it to have something even more complicated in it. So I do know that mod exists. I'm not gonna try and use it though, because it will confuse me and I will end up spraying the field with half a boom or like one little nozzle because I've forgotten about it, and then I'll get annoyed and you guys will get annoyed and we'll all have an annoyance party. Just in case you thought that I was taking that turn randomly, no. I had somehow managed to plan that by accident. So we're gonna get this field done pretty quick time. What I want to do when we get to the end here is actually turn off the sprayer again and just check the map to see if the grass fields are in fact fully fertilized, because I do want to get, if I can, more grass silage done. I also want to fast forward time through night, because it is getting quite dark again now, and I think it would be best if I fast forwarded through night. So I just want to check the grass fields, because I'm not entirely sure if they're getting fertilized or not. They are not, interestingly. Oh, maybe because they're all ready to harvest again already. That might be a thing. Yeah, that might actually be a thing that's going on there. So swing this around one more time. And I've missed a bit. OC Dave won't... That is quite a lump actually there. I wouldn't have noticed that lump otherwise. Wow. It obviously doesn't affect how the seeders work, so I don't know if that's an issue or not. Can we just say there's a quite a large rock just like 6 to 12 inches under the dirt there, and it's strategically cultivated and there's been dirt mounded on top of it so that it doesn't get uncovered. Can that be my story there? On behalf of Lancy, because I think he'd get annoyed if I suddenly found a problem with the field. Nah, seriously though, that's not an issue. Lumps like that are only an issue if they stop seeders from working and make the field even just a bit unworkable. There we go. We can fold this up again. And where do I want to go next? I actually want to go over to fields 24, 28, and 31. They're going to be the easiest ones to get to, I think. And I'm... there's no real short way over there, is there? Gotta take the shorter way, I think. which is not going to be this road, but it's going to be the next turn off to the left. Or maybe the one after that, actually. It's going to be the little shortcut that I usually take. Unfortunately, this thing does have a maximum speed of 27 kilometers an hour, so it is rather slow. Let's get the beacons on for effect. There's no traffic on the map to worry about, so I don't particularly need to... Ooh. I have angered... It is angery. I have angered the sprayer. We've used actually quite a lot of fertilizer. We've used almost half a tank of fertilizer. But it's fine because there's fertilizer pretty much every yard. I have been told, by the way, this yard down there to the left is an abandoned yard. It is no longer in use by the farmer if you want to roleplay the map, if and when it's out. So if you want to roleplay the map, it's strongly suggest you don't use that yard. It's been abandoned, or you could roleplay, I guess, that you, with some edits, that you're doing up that yard and renovating it. It's where map edits can come into use in roleplay series. Or even just role-playing the map for yourself. Or, you know, on screenshots for Facebook or FSUK or whatever. Because I know there's some people who like to do that. Obviously I like roleplay videos. I like making roleplay videos, they're kind of fun. There's a reason I don't do them constantly though, and it's that they do kind of grind on me after a certain amount of time, which is why the roleplay is taking a break. Generally speaking, Quentin's story was a one-off series. That won't be returning as its own thing. There might be something in the future that is another spin-off of the whole roleplay thing, because obviously I'm introducing more characters as time goes on, to allow myself more freedom to have more Courseplay workers, effectively. Because the roleplay is kind of going to go to bigger and bigger maps as time goes on, I think. And there's a part of me that would love to do a 16x, or even, well, not a 16x, but a 4x in time with the roleplay. And have like a full team of characters, a full squad. But I don't know if that would actually make any sense. Is this field fertilized, or is it just really dark ground? Field 24, is it fertilized? It's just really dark ground, okay. It's a bit strange, actually. The ground is so dark. Let's just scoot away from that tree, because I think that is a collision tree. Or that tree does have collisions, I should say. Lower the boom. Away we... I have no idea where I fertilized here, then. If that's the way the game's gonna play it. Let's turn off the sprayer, and I just want to check field 24 has... Oh, that's interesting. It's not registering any fertilization. I wonder, is it because there's no crop in the field? Huh. Okay. I guess I've just got to deal with that. I also think it's because the fertilized texture is down. If I were to get rid of that by cultivating, it might just underp itself, I guess. That's the best word for it. Although the same seems to be an effect for the grass. I wonder if Lancey might have done something that he maybe shouldn't have. Huh. Just gonna pull this in here. I want to grab the 7R, where is it? Yeah, the 7R. I'm gonna have to actually reverse that here with the dolly trailer. That's not gonna be very nice. And do you know what? That's as derpy as this reverse is. It's a lot better than I could have anticipated. I was fully expecting it to immediately jackknife. Where did I put the cultivator, though? Because I do have the cultivator on this map somewhere. It is... Oh, up by field 31. That's actually really convenient. Because I want to manually cultivate a small bit just to... yes, I did abandon the Massey. I've taken to just abandoning things while I'm recording. Because I don't see the point in constantly having them here. Or constantly, like, off camera fixing them up. I'll do it all in one fell swoop during a stream at some point. Actually, the easier way to get to the cultivator is going to be this way, isn't it? As the 7R cares not for the mud. Because I think if I change the texture of that field to being cultivated, it might just get rid of the derpiness. Now if that's the case, I'll have to reseed all the grass fields because they are all derpy. Where's the way down to that field? That field is accessible via this road here. So let's go down this road here. Not hit the fence, Dave. Let's go down this road, and I want to see if this field is also, shall we say, unusually dark. Because I get the feeling something might have, or I might have screwed something up in the map. Okay, this field is also, well, this field is technically ploughed. So it's probably a good idea to cultivate this just to make sure the ground is not derpy. And is this going to be questionably dark? I would... I don't know if that's questionable or not. Compared to that field over there, it's not, so I should be getting away with this. In theory, unless all the fields are somehow acting in exactly the same way, and that would be really annoying. Is there an error in my log? No error in my log. Other than the one caused by the crosshopper that I know about. This could be interesting. I might have to seed the fields to make sure that I can actually fertilize them. But this field is so small that realistically I can just get it done in 5 or 10 minutes anyway, so it's not that big a deal if I need to seed it afterwards. This is going to be one of the fields that I will always work manually, just because it's so small. Small field. It doesn't really need Courseplay, because Courseplay costs more troubles than it'd solve on this. Yeah, the Courseplay would actually cause more problems than it'd solve on this field. So this is actually one of these weird fields on maps that, if you are a big Courseplay fan, like I actually am a Courseplay fan, and I know that I complain about it causing problems all the time, but I am a fan of it. It is derpy, yes, but I always say if you like something, point out the flaws. I like this map, and I like to think I'm pointing out the flaws. And the problems. I know Lancey's doing his best when I remember to tell him about them, to fix them. Actually need to talk to Lancey at some point as well. About some stuff that I've heard. But that is unimportant for the video, isn't it? I'm just making a mess of this field, aren't I? Like that's all I'm doing. Is just yeah, I'm just making a mess. There's lines going. I'm so glad this map doesn't have multi-terrain angle, because all you would see is a giant wiggle, 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 wiggle. People on the Discord will know exactly where that joke came from. Me, actually. Getting bored on Discord. And then playing with text-to-speech. That's just a random... It's a random tiny patch of grass. That's kind of adorable. But I always think that maps... When you get a good map from somebody, once it's released... Obviously, I'm not going to go tinkering with a map that's not released. Unless there's a very good reason for me to do it. I always think that maps, good ones, are kind of the map maker giving you a blank canvas with some sketches on it, and you can color within those lines however you want. Or you could just completely ignore the lines and make the map something completely different if you really wanted to. Much and all as I despise them, look, I'm going to hold up the Gold Crest edits here as an example of this. I always count the Gold Crest, or the default map edits. I'm not just going to use Goldcrest here, but Goldcrest, Sosnovka, Bjornholm in FS15, Hagenstead in FS13. I always hold them up as kind of, this is a good. This is how I was learning mapping. You know, it's somebody releasing a map where they're learning mapping, so they edited the default map for whatever reason. Or they're learning how to do something, so they've edited it into the default map because it's usually the most stable one to edit. Because there won't be any conflicts that you shouldn't expect. But you know, moving on from those and getting more complicated is editing maps that maybe have scripts or have been tinkered with in some way. So it you know, that's where it gets interesting and the problems really start piling up, and kind of you know, that's where the mapper gives you a blank canvas with some sketches on it. Goldcrest is a very, very loose sketch of an American map. And I've seen some edits that turn it into a... I don't want to call it a legitimate American map because I don't think it's possible with the farm sim field sizes to get a legitimate American map, especially on a 2x. Maybe on a 4 or an 8 or a 16x. Assuming 8x's exist, I'm not entirely sure, but definitely a 16 or a 32x, which I think 32 is the biggest the game will allow for, because that's kind of ridiculous. 32 kilometers aside, much more than that, and you are pretty much going to burn out your graphics card, I think. So Giants kind of have some limits on map sizes imposed. But I don't think in a standard size map you can recreate in a realistic way an American farm. And definitely not an interesting one, as certain mapping groups are seemingly finding out, because I've seen some pictures of a map that's coming from a fairly well-known mapping group that is an American map, and it looks about as dull as dishwater. It is, from the pictures I've seen, which is pretty much just the PDA, bland, boring, and generic American map number 732, unfortunately. It's based on a real farm, but while it'll probably give an authentic feel of that farm, it won't play well. Not for me, at least. I won't be playing it for sure, well, 100% for sure, but there's certain styles of maps that just don't work well for me, at the very least, the way that I like to play. I know that I like big equipment, I like small equipment. So, liking the big equipment, I should like American maps, right? No, because most of the... oh my god, most of the fields in most of the American maps out there, that I've seen at least, with the exception of... I can't remember name of the map Landy Kid's playing at the moment. The American map he's playing. That is an interesting American map. I was gonna actually have that as a stream only map, and I'm still kind of tempted to a certain extent, to have just ridiculously huge equipment and use the silly mods that I usually wouldn't touch with a barge pole. Okay, now I want to test if I can actually fertilize that ridiculously tiny field. But I wouldn't mind having an American map in streams that I can courseplay the living daylights out of, and just kind of play in a more relaxed style, where courseplay does a lot of the work. I can talk to chat and you guys a lot more, and I don't know, I think that would make for a better stream. I know that obviously having Courseplay do everything would be boring, but on certain maps and at certain times, having Courseplay doing 90% of the work, which is what I'm doing here, and taking on the last 10% to yourself, so there's progress being made fairly quickly, and you guys are seeing the progress being made. I mean, I'm not cutting out bits of videos. I'll get back over to the class at the end of this just to show you how much it's done in half an hour, or just over, because there has been, I did leave it running for a few minutes before I actually started recording, but how much you can do in a fairly short time period with Courseplay. Much more efficiently than I could. That's, I think, for sure. Right, this is gonna be a single pass fertilization by the looks of it. Okay, this is now definitely fertilizing, so I have got rid of whatever dirt texture was there, which is definitely a positive. However, the dirt driving still exists. I think it's just kind of something I'll have to accept on this field, because it's ridiculously small. This is a 2-pass field, and this isn't even a big sprayer. You know, this is I think smaller than most of the fields on Goldcrest, even the smallest ones. So just as an idea of size, because the boom on this I think is, I want to say it's 26 meters. I'll check in a moment. But yeah, not a big field by any means, and I've just noticed that my money's gone down to near zero. Good. Good. In fact, the money's about to tick down to 0. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Oh dear. Oh, good lord, that's... What is Courseplay doing? Courseplay is just, like, eating money. I think it's because I got it set to buy seeds and all that kind of jazz. Okay, so that's that field fertilized. Will it now show up on the map as being fertilized? It does. Okay, so to get the fields to be fertilizable, you have to apparently cultivate them or something. Oh dear. Is the Arian doing exactly what I think it is? Now, why is it doing that? Because this course is 5.5 meters, and there shouldn't be any offsets set. Why is there... Why was there a 0.8 meter offset? That would explain the funky lines I've been getting, because this was carefully calibrated. I did set up Courseplay to not cause exactly what's just happened. That is very interesting. Why did it set an offset? Huh. I have never ever seen that Courseplay do that before. In all of the times that I've used it, I've never seen Courseplay set an offset that didn't exist. I wonder if it's because I used the calculate mode and the seeder was a bit skeweth. Looks like I'll have to, yeah, stop calculating automatically. For a little while at least, until I can figure out how and why it magically set up a 0.8 meter offset. What's worse is I had a 0.5 meter offset on the course itself, which is why those lines are so thin. It would have been a lot bigger if I didn't. In any case, it is time for me to leave you guys for the day. I'll leave you by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Upton. Upton by Lancyboi. It's so tempting to say farm, it just kind of falls out. So it kind of... I don't know. Until next time, stay safe, and goodbye.